I can see the light, but I can also see the cold skin. I don't know what else there is to say. I'm going my best not to run away.
Hi guys and dolls, this is Tiffany Fontenot, your friendly neighborhood reverse speech analyst here. I just have some weather-related reverse speech to report straight from our shared consciousness. So, first of all, I posted this in our Telegram newsroom for our Still Small Voice shared consciousness newsroom. In this Trump reverse speech farewell inauguration day next phase video that I posted to our Rumble, from 8 minutes and 23 seconds to 27:56, so 8 minutes to 28 minutes in the video. You can go there and I go over power grid related reverse speech and energy related reverse speech regarding Trump. So this has been coming up already in reverse speech. So, now we're to this part of the story. So you might want to go and kind of have a listen and review. This is about 5G and energy and what's happening encompassed within the literal World War III that we are in. I mean, it's an enslavement war, it's a trafficking war, it's a war about pedophilia, and it is a war about energy and how that energy is going to be moved and exchanged, and the future of humanity. So it's, to sum it all up, good versus evil. Okay, so are we going to live in a parasitic reality, a lost, matrix, satanic, parasitic reality, artificial reality, or are we going to regain and move our balance, shut down this parasitic tech, and move back into our proper reality? That's what's at stake here, basically. So it's a lot of different wars rolled into one. So one war is energy war, and that's spoken about right here. Okay, so you have quite a lot of sabotage going on both sides, and manipulation. So this looks to still be that. So let's take a look at the and that's our Rumble channel. You can get there by going to rumble.com/user/our still small voice, and then just find this video. Okay, it was published on the 20th of January this year. Okay, so now let's take a look. What happened to our... I keep having to go find that thing. All right, let's do it again. Oh, here's, speaking of weather wars. That is not natural weather. There's a satellite tracking into my position. They've been coming in all day. I'm quite tired
all right, again,
of those.
We're joined by Governor here.
Okay, we're not going to listen to this whole thing. So Governor Greg Abbott calls on ERCOT leadership to resign during the ABC 13 one-on-one interview. So we're just going to listen to the tail end here, because that's where the reversal comes in. Okay, so I'll let you listen to a little bit of what he's talking about, but then we got to get to business. All right, here we go.
It is ERCOT's responsibility to make sure that when situations like this arise, when they knew in advance there would be ultra cold temperatures, not just in Texas, but in the surrounding states. They should have planned better to make sure that there were backup capabilities in the event that our power generators in Texas, their operations froze up and were
Governor,
incapable
I'm sorry to interrupt
of
you, but
providing
I
the
think
power that your customers need.
I think we're about to lose our window with you. We certainly appreciate your directness and your time this afternoon, this evening, and we wish you luck in trying to navigate this situation ahead. So many Texans relying on you.
We'll get it done.
Okay, so let's take a look at his reverse speech here. All right, so his reversal was nudge in a loop. Nudge in a loop. Let's take a listen.
So many Texans relying on you.
We'll get it done.
Okay. So what Governor Abbott's RS is saying is likely that the intent behind getting it done is a nudge in a loop. In other words, this still appears to be Pike's plan, the Pike's plan's problem, reaction, solution, until they drive the behavior of the public to where the elite want us to go like good little sheepies. So what is a nudge? Okay, this is nudging in public policy. And I'll put this down below the video. Let's just take a look at that, because I think it's a benefit just to go over this whole thing right quick. Okay, so the summary. Nudging in public policy involves using behavioral, economic, and psychological insights to influence the behavior of policy targets in order to help achieve policy goals. This approach to public policy was advocated by Thaler and Sunstein in their book Nudge in 2008. Nudging is underpinned by a conception that individuals use mental shortcuts or heuristics in day-to-day decision-making, shortcuts that do not always serve their long-term interests. For instance, in relation to eating and exercise patterns, road safety, or saving for the future. Nudging does not involve seeking to persuade individuals about the merits of pursuing particular courses of action that will better serve their long-term welfare. Rather, it involves altering the choice environment so that when people follow their instincts using familiar mental shortcuts, the most prominent option available to the policy target will be one that is likely to promote their own welfare and that of society more widely. Nudging has come to be considered a core part of the policy toolkit in many countries, but academic scholarship has also debated the ethical dimensions of nudging, and there is a flourishing research literature on the efficacy, public acceptability, merits, and limitations of this approach within public policy. Okay, now, the ethics become even more in question when you're dealing with a transhuman cult that wants to force domination and control on everybody else and force their system onto the rest of the world, especially when it is satanic, transhumanist, mafia, syndicate, NWO globalist, cult, taking AI, forced taking of AI and hanging you on an internet, forcing all that stuff on you. A satanic system. Parasitism, forcing parasitism basically worldwide is what they want to do. These people are just certifiable. It is unbelievable. Okay, nuttier than a fruitcake, in other words. So that's nudging. Now what's loop? What's loop? What's a loop? Well, in computer science, a loop is a programming structure that repeats a sequence of instructions until a specific condition is met. So programmers use loops. Okay, so we're using programming and nudging. Programming and nudging. Okay, programming and nudging. That's what we're doing when we'll get it done. That's what we're going to use to get it done. Okay, so, and it is trying to move us to react. Texas is definitely in reaction. I mean, Texans are pissed, and they have a reason to be. How much more would they be pissed if they knew that this was probably not an accident? You know, and that they're being driven in order to get to a particular place. So this is a long series of orchestrations to get that group and that dark AI where they all want to go. To the death of life, actually. So let's take a look now at Mike Morales. He's saying this cold snap is not natural, weather warfare.
And we got completely unnatural cloud formations. We see the scalar waves. Wait, I'll show you a couple things here. I mean, let me pause this. I tried to download. We're missing about 5 hours of data on the radar that they scrubbed. But they didn't scrub this. Look at this. This straight, perfectly straight line for hundreds of miles. Then it goes into the scalar wave clouds. Yeah, I mean, it gets nuts. Look at this. Look at this straight line. There's no possible way this is normal. And then you get this scalar wave clouds. And then it lines right up with the HARP facility. Or down in Ecuador. Could be that one. I'm going to be taking a look at all this here. Let's play this. And look at the box cutout. We have perfectly square corners out here. And when we look at this through the pressures and all the other stuff we're going to look at, you can see it's completely unnatural. It was hit with some kind of beam, most likely a satellite. We know the Arecibo's down. I mean, this goes right up into Alaska. I mean, it's like they were steering this thing and then straight down. Then we get these crazy clouds going into California, like perfectly straight lines, and then the scalar waves back behind it. So we got mass manipulation going on. Look, even the pressures, we're looking at the mean sea level pressures almost at the surface. Look at this straight line cut out of this. I've never seen one cut off like that. It's not a stitching error. That's from some kind of energy either coming down from space or coming from the HARP facility. Could be coming up from Ecuador. But all these things happened at one time, so we got perfectly straight edges. You know, I mean, that is perfectly straight. That's not even possible with the pressure systems. You know, the storms that are coming through don't even make sense if you go back several days. If I can get this thing to load, hopefully we're not buffering too bad tonight. But you got, you know, just this super high pressure, the cold air, the cold high pressure should be blocking most of this. You know, warm air is not going to move the cold air. The cold air is heavier and denser. So most of these storms that we're seeing right now don't even make sense. They're being manufactured. So you can almost see the low pressures can't penetrate the high pressure. And then if you even look at the air, where's all this snow and crap coming from? Because it's cold, dry air. And it looks like this next blast is hopefully going to push this cold air off. Because otherwise, man, I mean, this isn't, you know, it's winter time, but this is unnatural. Usually you get these cold fronts in waves, like, you know, it'll be cold, it'll get colder, then you'll get the little bit of the Arctic blast. It don't last weeks at a time. This is something else. This is the dark winter they were talking about. It's cold and dark. Man, Man, see, I don't understand why these pages load fine and then I get the screen going and they won't load. I don't remember if I even have articles. I think I was just going to go. Yeah, I got a few. So we had a 7.3 quake strikes right off the coast of Japan, right across from Fukushima. An earthquake preliminary magnitude 7.3 struck off Japan's northeastern region. The quake occurred around 11:07, so it's a 7. Just trying to bring cloud waves coming in from the one that struck down south, the big quake, the 7.7.
I'm going to move on a little bit.
Away from Canada towards
Right here.
Siberia. Something strange is going on the top of the world. Earth's north magnetic pole has been skittering away from Canada towards Siberia. They say it's driven by liquid iron sloshing within the planet's core. The magnetic pole is moving so quickly that it was forced the world's geomagnetism experts into a rare move. On January 15th, they are set to update the world's magnetic model, which describes the planet's magnetic field and underlies all the modern navigation from systems that steer ships, Google Maps, GPS, all that stuff. Well, they had to update it quicker because the thing's moving too far. And they're actually saying that there's a new form of space weather from the Earth. This come out like yesterday. The sun is windy. 24/7 a breeze of electrified gas blows from the sun faster than a 1,000,000-mile-per-hour solar winds spark beautiful auroras around the poles of the Earth. But the Earth is windy too. Our own planet produces a breeze of electrified gas like solar wind, but only different. It may have important implications for space weather on the moon. Earth wind comes from the axis of our planet. Every 24/7 fountains of gas shoot into space from the poles. The leakage is a tiny compared to the Earth's total atmosphere, but is enough to fill the magnetosphere with a riot of rapidly blowing charged particles. Ionized hydrogen, helium, oxygen, nitrogen, that's all coming from the bunker fuel ships. You know, they're overloading the sky. It's got to go somewhere. It's not only raining down on us, but I guess it's actually getting blasted out to space too. So now they're polluting space.
Yeah, it is.
But, you know, not
awful. Okay, and y'all can go look at that. I'll link it below also if you want to watch the rest of his forecast. Okay, and then the last thing that I want to show you is all of this looks orchestrated because this is John Kerry's Antarctica speech. He just had, you know, an Antarctica emergency and had to go there in the 2016 elections. The day that we were sitting here voting, he was off on an Antarctica excursion. They had lots of stuff to take care of down there. Here is Kelly Faulkner. She introduced him. She is the director of the Office of Polar Programs for the National Science Foundation. And she reminds me quite a bit of, like, you know, a Vulcan. Quite a bit. She has some very interesting reverse speech. I'll link this below and you can go look at those if you like. But we're going to look at, here's that arachnid. That's a metaphor that both Kelly Faulkner and John Kerry have used for this cult. this disgusting AI. Okay, this right here. So the reversal is thundering. Okay, thundering if the shield fails. I owe a conspiracy. This means that there is a conspiracy to make the shields fail. This looks to be Earth shields. Now look, Mike Morales talked a lot about wind, Earth winds, all of that stuff in here. She's talking about the wind in her forward speech, you know. So connected to the reverse speech is going to be, we experienced a couple of them like we should have been here another. So we're going to experience a couple of them. We're going to experience something here connected to this. Conspiracies and thundering if the shield fails. Okay, so let's listen to that one.
We experienced a couple of them. It's like we should have been here another day before we arrived. We had enough wind to blow us on our feet, off our feet. Thundering if the shield fails, I will obviously receive. Thundering if the shield fails, I will obviously receive. Thundering if the shield fails, I will obviously receive.
Okay, so that's about all I have for this one, guys. Hopefully it's short and sweet enough for you, and I will see you guys on the next video. Hope you have a great day. Good night. Bye-bye. Love y'all. Bye.
I just see the light when everything is right and waiting for it to clear. Think while I'm alive, but terrified of dying. But hey, I'm still here. It's a bad sometimes I like it when I lose control.